So today I will be presenting the methodological challenges I am facing in my PhD research journey. But first, let me introduce myself. So I come originally from Greece, now working at the intersection of language education and emerging technology. I have been in English for academic purposes tutor since 2014. And I recently changed the trajectory of my career, and I have become an educational developer for artificial intelligence at Zhejiang University of Liverpool, because I'm based in China. And I'm also like a PhD candidate at Lancaster University. So what is the main premise of my thesis? So the main argument I make is that generative AI will fundamentally change the English for academic purposes field. So imagine like a few years ago, our job was really essential because, for example, we were teaching students how to structure a paragraph, how to write an essay, but now you have ChatGPT, you have Claude, you have Copilot. You can go and you can ask questions and they can give you like very specific answers. So I truly believe that this field needs to fundamentally change. And to be honest with you, I think they have to be the leaders of AI integration within every institution if they want to survive as a field. So in my thesis, I have developed a professional development program. This program contains 6 modules, is targeted to EAP tutors who want to upskill in the area of generative AI and how to use it inside and outside of their classroom. So each module covers one specific area of practice: reading and writing, listening, speaking, course design, assessment and feedback, professional identity. And the program is based on 2 theoretical frameworks. One is the TPAC. It's a very well-known framework, but it's the technological, pedagogical content knowledge framework and the digital capabilities framework. So what's going on with these 2 theories? Like the TPAC framework has not been redesigned completely because of AI. There are some researchers who have, proposed a few changes in this framework, whereas the digital capabilities framework was reformed in late 2023, and it contains AI digital capabilities. So also one of the novelties of my thesis is that I'm also trying to reinvent TPAC, any limitations it has and how it should be changed in this day and era. So what is design-based research? So design-based research is the main research methodology I am using. So it's an innovative research methodology that aims to bridge the gap between theoretical exploration and practical application. So with DBR, what you're trying to do, you're trying to make a real intervention in a real educational context, and you are using the participants of your research as collaborators, as people who co-construct the intervention as well. So with design-based research, you can develop robust educational theories, you can create actionable practices, and the heart of it is iterative cycles. So you go through the repeated cycles of design, implementation, and evaluation. So why did I choose DBR, apart from the fact that my PhD supervisor made me choose it? Sometimes we don't get much of a choice. So I chose it because it's also very suitable for developing a professional development program. It hasn't been used widely, in my field, especially AI, generative AI, EAP. And in my opinion, what I really like about this research methodology is the fact that it's collaborative. Is that you can take the advice of multiple stakeholders, and I think this type of research, in my mind, will be very robust because it's not only my input, the participants' input, other collaborators and stakeholders' input. Because I also conducted like a pilot study of my professional development program, and I took the advice of learning technologists, other seasoned EAP tutors who are very experienced in AI. And also the iterative nature. I mean, continuous refinement through real world feedback ensures the program evolves with participant needs. And also like my own observations as well, because this is something you can include in this methodology, because I'm not only the researcher, I'm the person who designed the program, the person who executes the program. So I can stay back as an educator myself, and I can see what is working, what is not working, because the participants are students. They may be professional CAP tutors, but at the same time, they're also students. And students tend to have like multiple opinions. So how is DBR used in this project? So the participants give feedback on the program at multiple stages. The first stage is the needs analysis. It's like a 40 questions needs analysis that I give to all participants after they enroll to the project. In the first iteration of the program, I had around 80 people from all over the world who expressed interest. And in the needs analysis stage, I ended up with 54 people. And I think the number of people who were interested to participate in this project, I think it shows how relevant this project is. I received emails from multiple people, like from universities in the UK, all over the world, how much they were waiting and anticipating for this. So we have the needs analysis, and then I take into account their answers and I go and I change the program according to their needs. Then we have the midpoint evaluation. We have 6 modules. So when they reach module 3, they were supposed to fill in a survey, and we were supposed to conduct like a focus group discussion. And then we have the final evaluation when they complete the program and they need to fill in a questionnaire again. And then we have the choice of either like a focus group discussion or an individual interview. So I want to compare the challenges that are mentioned in the literature and the challenges I really faced. So the first one is logistical hurdles. The literature says iterative nature demands sustained engagement over extended periods, so time, and this is limited to most academics. Data complexity, mixed methods generate vast data sets, especially the examiners are asking for triangulation of data. So I'm supposed to have surveys, I'm supposed to have qualitative data from interviews. We have the content from the LMS. I'm using Moodle, so we have learning analytics. We have numbers there as well. We have the activities these people designed. So it's a whole set of data. We have scalability. DPR's context specificity complicates scaling. So, for example, we may have some people who have access, for example, to ChatGPT, but I'm based in China and we don't have access to ChatGPT. You need like a VPN, so they have access to DeepSeek. So you need to find out. Also, universities have started buying premium accounts on specific, applications and software, and some other people do not have access. How can you mitigate that? I mean, the digital divide in generative AI is very real, or everyone can access, for example, Elicit, But Elicit now has a premium version that you have to pay for it. So this is another limitation. And then DBR lacks of standardized protocols. So you need to navigate this on your own, and you need to be creative. And being creative is good, but sometimes you don't have direction. Then we have the researcher's dual role. So researchers cause the very interactions they later analyze. So maybe we are not very objective. This is a problem. And I'll tell you how I managed to navigate this. And then the final one from the literature is the theory and practice tension. So DBR has a dual mandate. So you need to have theory and practice go hand in hand. But how can you do that, especially with practice? Because with generative AI, every week, for example, we have new developments. For example, in my program, I have integrated Google Notebook LM. And when I started the program, Google Notebook LM had some very, very specific, configurations and abilities. And by the end of the program, like in a month or so, with Notebook LM, you can design presentations, you can design infographics. So how can I add that? Oops. So challenges I have faced. So one of the biggest challenges I have faced, and I'll be honest, is that the midpoint evaluation is a complete failure. It is a complete failure. Why? Because it's very demanding, and it's a failure in the first iteration because number one, after the needs analysis point, you have zero control over the participants. So you have people who are I had people who are very, very motivated, and they went in and they completed the program within 3 weeks because they liked it so much and they were running. And then you have other people who try to complete one module per week. And then I had people who were completing activities on Christmas Day. So I was on holidays and I was receiving emails from Moodle, oh, this person completed this activity and this activity. I was like, this is absurd. It's Christmas. They were supposed to be on holidays. So yes, the midpoint evaluation was a failure. I did manage to collect some data and I did make some changes. For example, because I had 54 participants, I had divided in my forum discussions, I had groups, but not, for example, 25 people were participating from each group. So they told me we want to see everyone's responses and activities. So I deleted that. Yes, data diversity is another problem I am facing. Yes, it needs time. I have a lot of data, qualitative, quantitative, very difficult to organize, very difficult to navigate. Fear, to be honest with you, that participants are going to request like a major change at the midpoint evaluation and what am I supposed to do? And to be honest with you, as of this moment, only 16 out of 54 participants completed the course, all women. And that created like another problem in the final phase because these people are scattered around the world. I had to conduct individual interviews. So 16 may not sound like a lot, but try to conduct like 16 interviews, clear out the data, analyze it. This is very, very challenging. How I plan to overcome these challenges. And of course, I would love to hear any suggestions or recommendations from the audience. So number one, I'm going to revise in the next iteration my midpoint evaluation. For example, I'm going to remove the focus groups and interviews. It's an extra burden and the course is very intensive and heavy as it is. So the only thing I'm going to add is my survey embedded in my model. And because I have set some conditions for people, because at the end they obtain a certificate of attendance. So I will make this survey completion compulsory. Then, of course, I had to be flexible. In the end, I set like a very flexible deadline, but many participants told me that I should be like stricter on this one, flexible, but also strict. So from the first day they enroll, they will have like 3 months to complete the program, because I need to manage participant timelines, but I also need to have my data collection windows. I need to meet my deadlines as well. So I'm going to set up some course deadlines. And what I have noticed in my course, for example, I have forum discussions, all the practical activities, and in the compulsory forum discussions, they must comment on another person's post. Some of them don't like it, but everyone had to do it. And most of them said, oh, I didn't like that, but I also benefited from that. So I think, yes, I should be stricter in terms of deadlines and conditions. Also this one, the fact that I'm going to remove the midpoint interviews and focus group discussions, this is going to simplify my data, especially in the midpoint evaluation. Here you can see my references. I would love to hear if you have any other suggestions or recommendations.